So hello and welcome to a Film Mixologist, the place on the internet thingy where details, and even more detail happen. So what we're doing now is, in this video, hopefully, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the rebuild of this DCNF carbs, 40 DCNF carbs for the good old MG Maestro, hidden 80s gem. But in order for me to show you this, I need to show you the tons of details that I needed to create one of these units, to button up and dial in one of these units. So let's start with a few things that might appear stupid. So the first one, rebuild kit. Now, contrary to usual practice, I bought a more expensive one. I didn't cheap out on this, and there is a very good reason why. So let me show you. This is a kit from a company called Webcom. I get them here in the UK. They're actually very good as a supplier. I use a lot, and they're really good. I don't get any sponsorship or money from them. I just use them with my own money. But I'll show you why I selected this kit over others. Yeah. Let's start with the basics. This kit, first of all, it has this tabs for the spindle ends. So most kits don't have that. And crucially, they have all of these O-rings in here and this filter for the fuel filter that goes exactly in there. So some kits that are worth less money, they don't bring this, but I wanted it, so therefore I bought the most expensive kit. So let me show you which are the bits that need O-rings in Weber DCNF carbs. So this is the idle mixture screw, and it has this cup like that. In order to install this, you need an O-ring right there, and then this goes in the carb like so. Yeah, so that's one O-ring. Then you've got these units here that go on the base of the carb at the back. Yeah, they need an O-ring right here. So therefore, and last but not least, the idle mixture jet, it needs an O-ring there, and it goes right there. Okay, so because of that, I did need the most expensive kit, because all of the rubber O-rings in here were totally perished. Speaking about detail, look at this. This is the linkage and has been chemically blackened, so therefore this is absolutely mint, and it's going to be protected from corrosion. So again, details are very important when you start putting these units together. As you can see here, I've installed some of the bits, but not all. And now what I need to do is I need to start opening the kits and start getting all the goodies out. Okay, so ready for some more details here. So a detail that's quite important when you're building these carbs is to always keep the old gaskets. Why? Because they're different. So let me show you here. Yeah, because they're different model gaskets that have different sort of holes. So you need to be careful that you're doing the right one. So now I know I have the right one, detail. Then the other thing that I've done is I've equalized obviously the height of the fuel bowl. So it's a 58 on when the float is fully down, and it's the same on both, and the same on both when it's closed, which you have to. Another detail, again, we like detail here. When you're building these carbs and you do the accelerator pump, you always have to put the cam first, this thing here, and then you have to put the pump assembly. Why? Because if not, you won't be able to, basically it doesn't fit together. So that's another detailed. Again, so now what we're ready to do is we're ready to bolt on the tops and just close the carbs. And what we're going to do next is trying to start mating the carbs together on the assembly on the manifold, but we have to do a lot of work still on the manifold, and there's going to be a lot of detail on the manifold as well. Okay, so the detail festival continues here with this. Now we've gone onto the manifold. Let me put it a bit back. As you can see, this is much cleaner than it was. Obviously, it needs another round of cleaning, but we are, you know, getting there. But I want to show you. Let's see if you can see it there. That I know again another bit of detail is that this manifold has a little bit some casting imperfections here and there, and here's the one that I've currently already dealt with. Let me see there, and the light is going to be slightly better. There you go. You might be able to see it there. So that thing I pointed, they're all casting imperfections, which again, they're not that bad, but this is something that we need to make sure. Again, if we want to create a product that's perfect and that is absolutely right on, we need to get rid of all of that, because it creates kind of high spots for flow, and it might impede fuel flow. We don't want that. And also the other thing is that I might want to try and get rid as much as I can of this kind of ridge. You can see it there, because probably this is how this casting is done, and therefore you get like this line here. I'm gonna try and lose that, so that this casting is absolutely perfect. Okay, so carrying on with the attention to detail, as you can see here, this has been polished, and all of the bits that were protruding from the face of the manifold have been completely cleaned up. Here again, let me just put it around here. Let me just put the lights. There we go. You had that big indentation there. It's gone. There as well. Also there. It's been gone. And basically what I've done, it needs to pass the finger test. So you need to glide your fingers over all of this and not feel any sharp edges at all. The other bit that has been subject to a little bit of detail is this is essentially the vacuum takeoff, and all of this has been, all of the sharp edges here have been rounded off, so that it doesn't present a restriction to airflow. Again, I can pass my finger in here. I feel no sharp edges anywhere. Also, another attention to detail, I cleaned this off because it was full of carbon. It was disgusting. This same thing as well. So actually everything now has been properly gone through, and now I'm starting to get ready to start assembling the manifold, but it needs even more attention to detail, which I'm gonna show you in a sec. Yep, you guessed it, even more detail. Now I need to create 4 gaskets, so 2 on each, because as you can see the manifold here, it uses this spacer that goes on the manifold, but I need 1 gasket for underneath, 1 gasket for the top. And the reason I'm going to use this one rather than using the one that comes with the kit is because this is slightly thicker, 0.5 mil, which you actually do need for this unit, because what I want to do is I want to create maximum thermal separation between the manifold and the carbs, because this is a problem that this car used to have, that the carbs can sometimes get a bit hot, so having kind of thicker gaskets can help the temperature to divide, to create a thermal barrier, if you want, between the manifold and the carbs. So that's why now I need to cut 4 gaskets out of this sheet. Okay, so a little tip here. If you're going to create a gasket, as I need to do 4, one of the things you can do is you can clamp them between here and then start drilling all the holes. So therefore you can do it once and do it 4 in 1. So a little tip for you guys here, just no additional cost included in the price. So I know at this stage you're probably crying out for even more detail, so I can supply that certainly. So I've just finished the air cleaner assembly, the cleaning of it. Look at this brand new air filter. Doesn't it look lovely? But also I need to show you the cleanliness of this entire assembly. So this is the air cleaner. It goes like so. Obviously this has all been cleaned inside, as you can see, because I don't want any dirt going into the carbs. This top as well, I mean it was quite bad around here, but now it's, you know, clean. And we've got this one as well. This is quite a complex air cleaner, if I'm being brutally honest. So again, this has been cleaned so that I can kind of grab it with my hands. I took away the hoses that came in here because they were rotten anyway. So if you want to change them, whoever wants to install this, and I gave this a little spruce up. This is the cowl induction system. So there we go. This is kind of ready to go. So now that we've finished all this detailed work, we can start actually putting the units back together, which is what this whole video is about. Okay, so now I think we're at a stage where I can start doing like a summative of all the details that needed to happen for these units to live again, basically. So let's start with the carbs themselves, yeah, because they're important. They're an important part of the induction system. Obviously the build-up of the carbs have their own episode, but there is one important thing that I've done to this carb that makes them slightly better than standard, which is the work here on the shafts. So I know that these carbs are wide open throttle. They're gonna flow more than the standard Weber DCNF 40. So this is already kind of an upgrade for the car, for the system in a sense. And obviously, as I showed, all of the other components of the carb are really clean as a whistle. Obviously some components were restored using chemical blackening, as you see here. These are kind of quite important to keep corrosion at bay. Again, everywhere where the air flows has been cleaned, even taking off, as you probably, I don't know if you can see here, even taking off all the sharp edges of it. Again, that's detail. The inlet manifold, it's hard to think that it is the same inlet manifold that what we started at the beginning of the project, but actually if you think about it, it is. And so the work we had to do here, detailed work, was remove all the casting imperfections from this inlet manifold. That is going to allow us to absolutely maximize the airflow through the manifold without any kind of loss of efficiency. So therefore that means that we're giving the unit the best chance possible to produce as much power as it's going to produce. Again, this is a standard MG engine. It's not going to make 500 horse, but we got the best possible chance of it working well and making good power. And also finally, last but not least, another part of the induction system, which is this whole air cleaner assembly, which needed a lot of cleaning, by the way. I had to do that kind of off camera, So now we're in a position where we can start building this stuff out, but it's not gonna get built completely right now. Why? Because there are a few things that it will require the customer to install, and I'll show you what these are in just a minute. Okay, so this is as far as I dare take it in terms of assembly for these units. Why? Because there are a few things that, and this is a kind of tips on installation. It's better that the carbs are this way to be installed. Why? Because you need to put fuel lines here and here. Then you might have to do a bit of adjustment on the balance of the throttles here when you install it, and that's easier to do if this top isn't here. The trumpets are obviously loosely mounted so that they can be taken off if necessary. Also, the idle mixtures, you might wanna regulate them a little bit, so that's going to need you know, a bit of work. So it's probably easier if you haven't got that top on there that obstructs your reach into the units, kind of thing. But listen to this. That's the sort of throttle action you want. So the only thing is that throttle cable needs to come through there, through here, and through there, and that's it. That's pretty much done. These units are. Sorry, forgot to say something important about installation. This kind of vacuum ports, when you're setting up the carbs initially, you might need a signal from them for hoses or something, but then you're gonna have to plug them in. But that's it. Kind of apart from that, it's kind of, these carbs are kind of golden. Okay, so I'm gonna close this with a couple of reflections and tips if you are a person that has one of these units. And it's two things. Number one is that if you have one of these units that has worked kind of like street, and you hadn't, you know, given all the beans for a while, you might notice that the car isn't performing at its best, and this is because of the carbon buildup in all of the system. And I've seen it, and I'm sure that this unit, it was bad, but I'm sure that it probably wasn't, you know, it wasn't representative of what you will get out there with use. So I think that so if you've been using them for a while, you've been using it like short journeys, the engine is not getting hot, or you're not giving it the kind of the full beans, you might do well with doing a decoke, just getting rid of all the carbon in these units. And also the other thing is that you might want to work through in the obviously with the tips I've given in this video, just to kind of thin down the shafts so that you get the best of it in the inlet manifold, kind of get rid of all the like casting flashings so that you know that it's running at full efficiency. Again, put a new air cleaner if you can. Although the air cleaner that's there is really good, it's really big for a 1.6 liter engine, so I think that's okay. So in terms of tuning, I've obviously put back in the standard tuning of these carbs. However, if it was my car and I was kind of building the engine again with you know, slightly a little bit more compression, maybe slightly a little bit of a cam, I would probably go to 32 chokes, and I increase the jetting by 10 points, the main jets, that is. That's just one of kind of Anchor Quant's tips, not my first rodeo kind of thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this series, you've got something out of it. I really, funny enough, I really have enjoyed doing this project, working with these cars and trying to do, you know, a little bit research about the cars that they came in, what were the kind of usual problems, and actually having the whole inlet system gives you a complete view of how the car worked and what are the problems that you may or may not encounter. So anyway, if you got any kind of questions or comments about these units, if you want to purchase them, they'll be in the usual place, eBay, Airfield Mixologist, and therefore I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.